The Bam Johnson here in the dojo behind the beautiful weapons rack. You know, hopefully many people that have walked through our doors understand the passion and how much we love martial arts. I remember when I first started my dojo in the city of Baltimore, but let's talk about the homemade dojo. You know, in my project apartment bedroom, I used to make my uniforms, make everything. Sandbags, used to put my hands down into the burning sand, you know, just because I wanted to be like Five Fingers of Death. You know, I did everything I could possibly do because I wanted martial arts that much. And as I began to connect with instructors, Master Kenneth Parker, Gene Mason, Master Garcia Davis, Larry Milliton, the boxer, Jody, so many people. I was able to also master Tony Lin before I got with Master Brown and them. I was able to evolve and find that expression of Kung Fu that was proven on the dojo floor. I remember times people used to come into the dojo and challenge us. You know, we were, you know, at McKim's Community Center, people walk by and say, hey, y'all don't know nothing. And people would come by and instruct us, say, hey, Master Kenneth said, bam, go ahead and get him. You know, it wasn't about me trying to say that I beat everybody, but nobody took out school. I can just say that nobody. Well, eventually those people that used to like call me Little Black Bruce Lee and say it to make me feel bad and try to bully me, they stopped bullying me because they understood that I was taking this thing serious. And when it was time for me to, you know, rise up and deal with the situations, I was able to prove the effectiveness of this expression of Kung Fu everywhere. You know, from being on the good side and even being on the bad side, in the clubs, after the clubs, you know, on the streets, in the projects, on the basketball court, wherever it may be, I had to prove that this works. Anything that I do with Kung Fu is all about being able to make it represent a practical application of the community that I come from. You know, and coming up in the dojo, all we did was fight. You know, there was no equipment. We just sparred. And that's when you would come to the dojo, you know, school open up at 4. We wouldn't leave until like 11 to 10, 11, maybe 12 o'clock at night. Flip all day, punch all day, yoga, you name it, that's what we did. And that was 7 days a week, making your nunchucks, making your sticks. You know, so when I went to my first tournament, you know, I made up my kata. I won a second place, you know, third place in kata, second place in fighting. Would have won first place, but I lost to Mr. Avon in my division. I'm proud of that. He hit me with a reverse punch that nearly took my abdominal out, you know, but it trained me and prepared me for the next time around. So I was able to go out and do better things, you know, through being introduced to the fighting element so much. We're not talking about just like the, you know, sparring. And once again, guys, it wasn't no playing around. So people that come through and you misinterpret how we teach you today. You know, I remember I used to have team trials at the school on North and Charles in Baltimore, Mr. Tully, Mr. Glover, just to make it to an intramural team, we would knock each other through the walls. You know, that's just this how you did it, man. You had to represent, you know, so you had to walk the walk. You had to not just talk the talk. And because I was able to do that so much with the fighting, full contact, you know, street fighting, you name it, every aspect. Wrestling, come on, man. You come up in the hood, you got to box, you got to wrestle. You got to know how to do all those things to survive. You got to know how to play ball. You got to know how to play baseball. You got to know how to, flip, do all that, man. You got to represent, you know, you got to hustle. You got to do those things. Those things, even when you go to the club, you got to represent. You got to have some rhythm, some swagger. And then the elements of what I teach, it represents accumulation of all that. So when I really started succeeding with the fighting, I said, man, I want to try kata because a lot of people know I can fight. They want to see me fight, but I want to become an artist. And that's when I went on a journey of doing forms and weapons. And I did forms, fighting, weapons, all that stuff. And I was flipping and nobody was flipping. I used to get low scores for doing backflip, back summy, backflip, front flip, you know, you name it. You know, I was doing all that stuff, but they wouldn't give me a good score because people wasn't doing all those flips back then. But as time evolved and got a chance to go to China and train in the wushu, I realized that there's an element of what we do when we say the complete martial artist. The forms we do are effective. The weapons we do are effective. And it's not, you know, and it's not disrespectful. We have many students that come in, and what people don't realize is that For me to give you the depth of what we do, you got to prove that. I mean, I'm a work and I'm gonna give you what I need to give you based upon the curriculum, but it's all the things outside the curriculum that most people you got to earn. You can't pay me for that. I enjoy teaching the art. I enjoy giving. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that knows I love the rhythm. Most people can't handle that challenge. They can't handle how you challenge them to the max and take them. My kids can. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take them to the max. That's how my wife. That's how we come up. And that's like old school, man. The new school, yeah, we want you to get your belts, but at the end of the day, belts don't matter. We set a goal for a black belt so you can remember martial arts. Then when you get to that black belt, we can start really teaching you martial arts. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, you're trying to remember martial arts. Until the martial arts becomes expression of who you are, boom. It's just a memorization of a couple of techniques. You got to find your own expression. You got to find your own style. I will always love what you see back there, Kung Fu. I will always represent the joy and beauty of what Kung Fu brought in my heart and my soul. And I will always, not about proving to other people the effectiveness of Kung Fu, but I call it the urban combative Kung Fu. That's what we represent, urban combative Kung Fu. It has to be effective. It's been proven in the dojos, on the grappling, you name it, them went there, did that, just wanted to see how they all complement one another, because at the end of the day, I got to be able to walk them streets. But I'm not even going to say fighting, because I'm not even about fighting no more. I want to find peace within myself. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the best I can possibly be, and I want to do what I need to do to empower and uplift other people. It's not the art that makes you, it's the individual that makes the art. And the joy of what we do at the BAMs for years and years, since the old days of me starting in the city of Baltimore. Many people have come, many people have left, many people think that, my instructor's wife told me this one day, and I say it to my students and anybody that's watching this, you will never know all what I know. You know why? Because I don't even know all I know. Every time it's time to get on the turntables, every time it's time to engage and get on the dojo floor, it's about the rhythm, it's about the flow, it's about the expression of telling this truth. Telling this truth through teaching, telling this truth through writing, movies, whatever it may be, but that's the complete martial artist. That's what this is all about, the joy and beauty of the art. I will never be stagnated to one level. I will never just be a fighter. When I went in the competition, it was fighting forms and weapons. That was the joy of it. That's how I came up. Forms that we do, it is effective. Weapons that we do, it is effective. All those weapons back there, whatever I do, I pick up a pen or a pencil, whatever I put in my hand, I got to be able to make it apply to combative expression. But the ultimate goal is the art of fighting without fighting. Whatever I do, I beat the enemy down within. I will never let this enemy that I used to be inside, which was self, the hate for myself, the self-doubt, the negativity, the quitting, anything that people come through and excuses that they make about why they can't continue to train or why they take a break from training or why they, whatever. I done been through it, done that, and will never do it again. As long as God will give me the day to stand up and breathe, I will always find a way to express and practice and be the complete martial artist that I was put on this earth to be. Based upon the wushudo concepts, broken down the science and the elements of how we make it work, to bring forth the attributes that can make all the techniques work. That's the gasoline, the fuel that bring it all alive. That's what this is all about. The dojo is just a place to start remembering. The real journey is what we do beyond that. Never, never forget the development of self. You can never say, I used to be a black belt, or I used to be a martial artist, or I used to practice. No. It's about living, moving, and adapting. And that's what the complete martial artist is all about. So, if you have quit, if you got big-headed at some time and thought that you know better than, I will never be better than my teachers. That's what I say right here. I don't want to be better than my teachers. I want to be better than me. I don't claim to be better than my teachers. I've been down a path that helped me understand my own truth, and anybody around me, I want them to understand their truth. But it's not about being better. It's not about, being the best, being the ultimate. It's about being the best that you can possibly be from within and overcoming your obstacles and achieving your highest level of success. That's my journey. So when you come in and you think you know me, or you think you learned it all, no, I got a long way to go. There's some curriculum you never will ever see. There's some curriculum that you can never pay for the art and the true expression of what martial arts has done for me. That's the same thing with my wife. That's something that's just given. That's given. It's a swag. It's a vibration. It's a rhythm that you feel. It's a soulful expression. Until then, everything is to help you remember what you got to remember to get your belt. And I'm going to do that with all my heart and my soul with 110%. But the other aspects, that got to be earned. Can't pay for that. You understand? That's priceless. That's timeless. That's what a complete martial artist is all about. And most of the time that happens, like through black belt cycle, when you get frustrated, you don't want it no more. You think that you know it all. You hate the dojo. You hate the people around. You just want to go on. And then you realize one day, whatever you're running from, you run right back to it. And until you learn to come face to face with the things that you're running from and make them your friend, you will never be one. And you will never understand the true expression of being a complete martial artist. That's a true black belt. The one that don't need a belt. The belt lives within. The dojo lives within. The seafood lives within. When we understand that, then we're on a path of personal expression. The true art of wushudo is the art of self-development. And when we can find balance within, then in return, maybe this society become a more balanced society.